folks. We're back here at Origins with Jim from Ares Games.
Hello.
And what are we looking at today?
This is This War of Mine. Ares Games has a new partnership with a company called Galatka, which is a Polish publisher. They've been publishing games for a number of years, and we're very excited because we finally get to partner up with them, and we're going to distribute their products in North America and parts of the world for the English language. This War of Mine is their latest edition, based on the hit video game that was kickstarted quite successfully. This is a tabletop version of that game.
Okay. What do we have here? It looks like a lot of cards.
So for those who do not know, this War of Mine, you play a citizen trapped in the middle of a civil war. You're not a soldier, you're just trying to survive and make your life a little bit better. You're trapped in a city that's surrounded by the government forces, and you've been lumped in with the rebels even though you may or may not be one. So every day you're fighting for survival and fighting to improve yourself. What you've done is, in the context of the game, is you've found a building that's relatively safe, and so every day you're trying to explore your building, trying to go out to different locations and deal with all the things that that happen. The game is highly replayable because there is so much variability in what you can find, the visitors that you see, etc. So in this case, what we've got set up here is you start with 3 characters. You can get more over the course of the game. During the day, you give them tasks. So for example, I can have this person here go down and try to look for, see what they find in that furniture. This character can go outside. This character can start clearing rubble. Well, you find things, you find equipment. So when for example, when they find this furniture, they search, well, they get things.
Okay, so it's on the back of the card.
It's on the back of the card, and so with the number of cards, what you find and how you get to it and the order you get equipment really matters, so you're sort of constrained in that way. As you acquire equipment or components, you actually have a set of fittings, which Americans would call improvements. Well, you can build improvements. Well, what does this take? It takes a filter, mechanical. This takes wood and some components.
Okay.
When you build something, you actually get to replace it, so once I've explored this area, I can go here and say, okay,
then
now
you get to build something else.
I've put a heater in that room. Well, once I build it, then now I can actually go here later on in future days and get a benefit for having that heater. The more I build, and the more that I have, more options I have, the better my life becomes, because now it's easier to gather food, so I can focus on luxuries. I have a few luxuries, so I'm happier. Okay. Happier citizens are a good thing.
Well, so you're improving your quality of life over time.
You're improving your quality of life. At the same time, though, sometimes you have to deal with visitors, you have to deal with different events, and you have to deal with the night. So one of the things that happens is you can scavenge at night. So when you scavenge, you can send characters to a location at night rather than resting.
Okay.
And so they can actually go through and gather more items. So it's a great way to get more gear, get more equipment to build more things. But if you're out scavenging, well, what happens when the raiders come? Because pillaging bands of raiders happen every night. Well, you've worked really hard all day to accumulate your items. Well, what happens when the raiders come and steal it? Well, now what do you do? So you have to find a good balance between having someone guard your items versus going out and getting new items.
So if they went out and got some during the day, they're not going to be available to defend?
So they could, but what happens is every citizen is tracked on a couple of different stats. So their health, the number of wounds they have, their food, their water, their misery. So if citizens don't get a good night's rest, they become miserable. If they don't get food, they get hungry.
Cool. I like that.
And then they start to lose action, so they become less and less effective. Citizens die. The very first game that I played, we had 2 citizens die the first day, which is highly unusual, but now your citizens die. So now, oh wait, these guys died.
Have one person.
So now I have to go out and let other people come in. Well, now once other people, maybe they bring better skills, maybe they bring not so good skills, maybe they're good guys, maybe they, etc.
So you could bring in citizens who may not be that helpful to you too.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then throughout the course of finding things, you'll find people, they'll say, for example, there's a card that says a citizen next door offers to trade food for information. So do you give up one of your hard-earned food to get information that may help you know if the raiders are coming and what's going on? Or you may work with a traveling vendor that says, look, I'll take some of your stuff and I'll trade you something good, but okay, can I afford to pay the commission cost, if you will? So you're, again, making more decisions about what's going on.
I like that. It seems like it's a lot of little moving pieces, but they all seem to work together. So this is a fully cooperative game.
Fully cooperative.
So you don't really have a character.
Exactly.
Everyone's kind of sharing in the pool of...
Exactly. So if you're playing 4 people, you're still playing 4 characters. Very unique mechanic. There's actually a journal. So that what the journal does is it's like the active player token. So, and it explains exactly how the game is played. So when you set up the game, it says there's a one-page setup that says here's how you set it up, and we're only partially set up here, but one-page setup, a couple minutes, and then it walks you through every single step. There are no true rules to read. There is only setup, and now start playing. And as the game reveals itself, it says, if you want to go to a location, here's what happens. Oh, okay, so I'm to the point of the game where I can search locations. Now I read about that, and if you have a question, there's a part of the rule book that says, here's how I have questions. So
pretty quick to just get open the box and
within
get
half
going.
an hour, you're up and you're actually actively in the game once you've opened the box.
And what's the win and lose conditions of this? So how do you win
every
it? How do you
game
lose it?
has random objectives.
Okay.
So over the course of time, first of all, you'll take care of objectives, and then once you complete that objective over the course of time,
taking care of ourselves.
So in this case, chapter 1, you'll have to, day 1, you'll try to complete that. Now you go to chapter 2. Ultimately, you get to the end, get to chapter 3. Each one of these represents a day, so you have about a little over a week to complete all your objectives. If you're successful, great. So it's a week in the life of just a human being trapped during wartime.
So each turn a day, or
exactly?
Okay,
each turn,
or each round.
Each day you have citizens typically have 3 actions.
Okay.
Except if they're really hungry, or they're miserable, or they're wounded, or they're thirsty.
Then they don't want to do anything.
Exactly. Then their actions go down until finally you may get someone who goes, all they're doing is eating my food. They're not no help to me.
Can you kick them out? Or do you still have to drag them along?
You can try to improve them by giving them food, and so their health recovers. So as their health recovers, you have bandages to heal. You have water to give them food, so to help them their thirst. You can build things for them to make them more comfortable. So you try to bring them back and have them be an active part of your little community here.
I like it. And the lose condition for this, or
you can, if your characters can get killed, and you can or can just give up, and they can give up and just honestly allow themselves to be killed, commit suicide. So there are some darker themes in regard to that. So you're trapped in a civil war that you probably wanted no part of, and so how do you get through that? So
what's the ages on this game?
The game itself plays pretty simple, so that would skew a little younger.
Right.
The themes are a little more adult.
Right.
So
that's what I was asking.
Teenagers and older would be more of an appropriate audience. Okay.
And how many players?
You can play up to 6 players. 6. And the neat thing about it is so if we've got 6 players here and we're deciding what Anton should do, we can say, I want to do this, I want to do this, I think you should go over here. Well, the person who is the active player, which goes around the table in a very fast order, says, no, he's going down here.
Okay.
Okay, well, we've talked about it, but the active player is going to make that determination. Once he decides where Anton goes, then pass the book, which is, again, the active player. Active player says, okay, now where's she going to go? Well, I think she should, no, I think she should go here and start clearing that. So there is someone.
A lot of table talk going on here.
A lot of table talk, a lot of communication.
And this is available now?
It is available now.
now?
We don't quite have it. I mean, it's in the process of being shipped here. So when I say now, days away. Okay. All right. It is published and out.
All right.
All right.
Well, that is This War of Mine, and you guys have some other games to show.
Yes.
So we'll slide this one over, and you guys want to do this one next, or?
Yes.
Okay. Isabella, right?
Isabella,
From Ares Games, and what are we looking at?
Okay, so this is Divinity Derby, and this was our Kickstarter about a month or 2 ago, and we're going to have it. The fulfillment will be hopefully at the beginning of August, and then we should have copies to sell at Gen Con, and then it'll be fully released by the start of September.
Okay.
So you are a god, and so you've come up to Mount Olympus to hang with Zeus and all of your other god friends. and after a couple rounds of drinks, you decided that you should start a betting game on the mythical creatures roaming around.
Okay.
At Olympus. So
it's a party at Olympus.
Yeah. So we've got you've got like classics like the Phoenix, Griffin, all of that.
Yeah, these are really cool. I like these.
Yeah, and so you're gonna so first at the beginning you would pick who your god is. So for instance, so if I'm the sun god, this is who I am, and then all my cards look like that, and then we all have the same set of cards. These are our betting cards. We have like last place, disqualified, first place, and now there are three. We're gonna have three kind of laps in the race, and then 3 rounds of betting per lap. So we're gonna make our first 2 bets right at the beginning. These are gonna be secret between us. So I'm gonna say that I think that, and I would choose with the token. So I'm gonna say that I believe that the Griffin, for example, I'm gonna say that I believe that's gonna be last place. Next to last place. So because this is kind of a broader guess, then it's only worth 4 points. But some of the big guesses, like if I guess who's going to be first place, if I am so sure that it's going to be the dragon, there it is. That's my bet. Okay, so
I always bet on the dragon.
I agree. And so the players are also going to be responsible for moving the mythical creatures themselves, and that's where this deck hand mechanic comes in.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask about these.
So we all get the same. Every deck hand gets about 8 cards, and so, but we share with our neighbors. So if I'm playing right here, I'm sharing with the person on my right and the person on the left.
Okay.
And that person on the right and on my left, they're sharing
with the right and left.
So you can see like what your cards would be here. And then we'd be looking at ours. So I can watch the person on my right, what they're gonna pick.
Okay.
And so like if I see them continually going for the Phoenix every time, I can start to gauge what I think that they're doing.
Okay, so you have information completely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
And they have information on you. So while you're trying to advance your bets, you're trying to be sly as well.
Right.
So halfway through each round, you're gonna make your third bets based on how far the Pegasus is going and all that. So you'd make your third bet. Again, it's secret. You'd look at what you have available from your hand of betting cards.
How specific do these get?
So you can, you can make like 3 place guesses at a time, or you can just go, first place disqualified. So and that's when it comes. So when it comes down, when the first lap is over, we're going to see how they did, and they get placed. Dragon's number 1. This guy, okay, whatever. So whatever the order is.
All that matters is the dragon was number 1.
Right, of course. And so then we're going to take a look at the dirty trick pile. So you might notice, and we'll show you right here. So you might notice on some of these, you've got the option of third and first. So that's because you get to advance a character. You get to do 2 moves every time it's your turn. So if I wanted to do the Lamistool, if I was going to make it my first choice, they get to move 3 because they're playing a dirty trick.
Okay.
If I just want them to, wait, hold on. Actually, I forgot something. Let me show you a different card. What do I got here? Okay. So on some of these cards, there should be a little second number option. And so if you're moving them, if the Lamistool is your first one and you choose that second number option, which is not on the card.
Not on the cards, okay.
But I left them in the box. But that means you're playing a dirty trick. So you get to move the 3 plus the 2, so they get to move 5 ahead. However, they get put in the dirty trick pile. And the dirty trick pile, at the end of the game, all of the characters who played that dirty trick get put in with these Zeus cards. So, so we mix it all together.
Well, I feel like you're going to get judged by Zeus.
Yes. So every time you played your dirty trick, it only is going to count against you if you're the first place one.
Okay.
So you get mixed in with these Zeus cards. Okay, Dragon's number 1. So we're looking at all of Dragon's dirty tricks. So we draw, shuffle it all together. Oh, okay. So if you would have had your character drawn, that means you would have been moved to last place. Disqualified. So you don't get any of your points. If you would have drawn the Zeus card, you would have been. He looked favorably on you. He says you're allowed to have that win.
All right. And how many laps?
There's going to be 3 laps.
Okay.
And it's up to 6 players. So it can be,
2 to 6.
2 to 6. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've played games where we just did 1 lap with a couple players, so it goes really fast, like 30 minutes, or we can, make it the full hour and a half if we want.
Okay, so you can scale it and do less laps. How does that work in a 2-player game with the information?
Oh, I guess it doesn't. I guess it's 4 to 6. Yeah, that was silly.
4 to 6.
4 to 6. I'm sorry.
I was just curious. I'm like,
yeah, no, you're right. It's 4 to 6.
And you said this will be available.
It should be available by the end of August. Hopefully in time for Gen Con. Should be end of August. It's the plan.
Well, it seems
Kickstarter comes out first, of course. So everybody's going to get fulfilled.
Okay, and this already did Kickstarter.
Yes.
Right?
We're all done.
Okay. Yeah, this looks really cool. I really like these miniatures.
I do too. Yeah. I like that they all get the full personality of every character and every god.
All right, we'll slide this one. And this is the one I'm excited for.
I have to be honest. Don't tell my boss, but I'm more excited for Divinity Derby. That was my big release of the summer.
Yeah.
But Hunt for the Ring, I know a lot of people are looking forward to.
No, that looks really cool too.
So in Hunt for the Ring,
let's
do you see it?
Get her set up. Get it set up real quick. Okay.
All right.
So we're here with Isabella from Aries, and we're looking at
Hunt for the Ring. Okay. So in Hunt for the Ring, we're going to play out the first part of the Quest for the Ring, kind of what we didn't cover in our other games from our War of the Ring series.
Right.
So we're trying to find that ring. So one player is going to be playing Frodo, and the rest of the people playing the game are going to be working together to stop Frodo. So their movements are marked here.
So it's a 1 versus all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Frodo, of course, is back here.
He's so short.
And then Gandalf is back here. He doesn't come into play right away. So everybody's working together to stop Frodo. Frodo is moving publicly, but of course we've got secret movements back here, and so that's actually what we'll have like markers to place it. This isn't the full version. So
this will be the Frodo player will have this.
Correct. Yeah, because he's hiding, and so you're just tracking your movements, and then when you get to Bree is when the first stage is over. And then on the back, this board will flip, and that's when you complete the second half.
Okay.
And that's when Gandalf comes into play. I'll be honest, the last I heard when the rules were being
So the back
written,
of the board has a... We should show that. Okay.
I think we may have had it flipped. I think this might have been the second part.
That probably makes more sense.
Yeah. But so during that second part is when Gandalf comes to play. And last I heard when I played that first demo with the author, Gandalf was going to be introduced with a new player. And kind of the idea and what makes it cool is that you can play one half of Hunt for the Ring one night with a couple friends, and then the next night is when you can start making the ones hunting for Frodo. You can make them kind of a cooperative group. You can add a new player in Gandalf, the second night you're playing with friends or something like that. And it's still got the same like heavy reliance on theme that the other War of the Ring games from our line have, but this is more of this is a shorter gameplay, and it's got that hidden movement.
So what is the time on this?
I believe it's going to be kind of the length of more like a Euro game would be like an hour and a half.
Okay. And these dice, these are nice. What are these for?
I have to be honest, I haven't played with the dice yet. I know they determine movements.
So that's how you find the
to see where you can search for your ring.
Okay.
So you have your movements, and then you roll them and see how the search went at that movement, at that location, whether it has marked here.
And when can we expect to see this?
This will be September.
September?
Yeah.
And the player count on this was?
It's 2 to 5, I believe.
2 to 5?
2 to 5.
Well, these miniatures are really cool. I like these.
Yeah, and I hope that when we our next show, they have like fully painted ones. So I'd really like to show those off.
So will it come in a painted version and an unpainted version, or?
There's no plan on it, but I think we can. I think we can hope for that.
So do you think this is something that you could do the one night and then do the second night, and then on the next night we all play War of the Ring?
If you want a really long game nights, yeah.
Hi everybody, thank you for your questions during the chat. I'm here with Isabella from Aries Games, and we're going to answer some of these questions, hopefully.
Okay.
Let's work backwards. Hunt for the Ring is sort of the thing that got everybody super excited.
Oh, good.
Playtime, you said, was around 90 minutes or so. Is that per session, or is that for a full game?
I believe that's per session.
So the first half of the board around 90 minutes, and then flip it, and it's another 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Are those the final sculpts for the miniatures?
Yes, those are the final sculpts. That was definitely a prototype of the game, but that's the final artwork and final sculpts.
How is movement determined? So if I'm playing Frodo, do I have cards that tell me where I can go, or do I get to decide where I go?
Yeah, so you do have cards. We didn't get them out because they're like just the little paper rules. That's not the final version, but yeah, you'll have cards that determine your movements. Like I said, the ones hunting their movements are secret and they're more mechanical.
Okay.
So more routine. And then the dice come in once you get to the location, but your movements are by a card. And in the cards they'll be, move this path, or they'll be move over here. You'll have different things come up.
All right, so it's sort of a combination of wherever you want and card-based movement. Okay. Folks asking when they'll be able to get their hands on it. Are you planning to have it available at any of the big cons later in the year? Essen, Gen Con?
Yes to Essen.
Yes to Essen.
I don't think there'll be a problem with Essen. The original plan was, of course, Gen Con, to have it be able to release by then. Last I kind of spoke to the production team, it was already looking like it was behind schedule, so the hope is Gen Con, but it'll definitely be ready by Essen.
Okay. Anniversary editions of the whole War of the Ring series. Any plans for more anniversary editions? A reprint of the War of the Ring?
There's no plans right now, but it's something that we're definitely talking about, and it's we literally just finished that last anniversary, so I feel like we're like gathering our bearings and like taking a breather, but we've definitely been talking about it the whole time. We're trying to finish that last one, so I think it's very likely.
Okay. Let's move on. It's asking about Wings of Glory. Any plans for bringing some out-of-print planes back into print? And also talking about the campaign rules for Wings of Glory. Can you share anything about those?
The next series of planes, January of next year, so first quarter next year, will be the next series of World War II. And then I know there's at least one reprint, and I have to say I don't remember which one it is, but there's one reprint from the original series. And then I don't think the schedule for World War I has been decided on yet.
I think it was specifically World War I out-of-print planes. Any plans to bring some of those back?
I'm sorry.
All right, no, that's fine. Anything that you can share coming up for the War of the Ring franchise? Are you planning anything beyond Hunt for the Ring?
The answer is no right now. Like we're always working with trying to find small kind of promo editions, and so we printed more tree beards. So we're still giving those out. That's kind of what we're on right now, and we're looking for the next kind of exclusive that we're going to have available, kind of for the past games to give away with Hunt for the Ring. So that's a secret right now.
Okay.
Basically, but it is. the only thing that we really have in the works is kind of exclusive items.
All right.
Not yet a new game.
Questions coming up about tripods and triplanes. Do you know anything about it?
It's still happening.
Okay.
It's still in the production schedule, and it just every time we kind of have our meetings of plan, it gets pushed back even more.
Okay.
But it's still a plan. Last I heard, we were kind of looking at third quarter of this coming year, kind of getting it manufactured.
Okay.
Like I said, we pushed it back so many times, but
Folks
but
eager
we
to-
really,
they wanna
I
see
really
the
want it.
sculpts,
I
they
want
wanna
to see
see
it
the-
so bad
okay.
too. I think it's going to be awesome. Yeah.
All right.
So I'm excited for it to become real.
Divinity Derby. What's the MSRP on that one?
That's going to be $50
$50 with the minis. That's going to be
with
it.
everything we just showed. That I believe is the final production.
All right. Well, if anybody's looking for more information on your stuff, where do they go?
We've got information on our website, which is ariesgames.eu, and then our Facebook, specifically the just /Aries Games.
Okay.
That's updated constantly. We do a lot of news articles and kind of interviews and exclusive with like our authors and people doing research for us on the specific planes released, the history of each plane, and we've got all of that kind of like backlogged on our website. If there's a certain plane that you get excited about, for instance, you would be able to find that by searching its name on our websites. But in terms of news, I really rely on the Facebook when I want to share what's coming up and what's cool.
Awesome. Head to the Facebook.
Yes.
Isabella, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you all for your questions. We'll have more for you very soon.